The lights go down, the picture fires up, and with LG, your couch becomes the front row. From late-night streaming to game day watch parties, LG OLED and QNED TVs make every screen moment bigger, brighter, and easier to love, with smart features that feel effortless and sleek design that looks beautiful even when the screen is off. Because when it's LG, movie night doesn't just happen. It becomes the event. Bring the theater home with LG. See the latest OLED and QNED TVs now at LG.com.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. Hours at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 325th episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Summers. I'm the host of this lovely show. Joining with me, as always, is my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how you doing?
Dude, I don't know. I can't be doing better. I am doing pretty great. Life is good. So, yeah, I'm doing good. Shout out to Jackie. She's on vacation this week. Shout out to my boy J-Ro. Just hadn't talked to him in a while, so I just want to say shout out to him. And always shout out to my good friend, Chris Raines, my boy that always listens to the show. Never have to question it. I can bring him up because I always listen. So, but yeah, couldn't be doing better. We're on the countdown to second and third football season. Third and fourth football season. First football season is when college comes out. Second football season is when Madden comes out. Then you get to preseason and then actual college football and all that stuff. So as we get closer to football season and fantasy football season, life is, I'm great. Life is great.
Speaking of fantasy football real quick, actually, sorry to cut you off, but I just got invited into my first ever Chopped League. Never been in one of those. I don't know if you've heard of it. I
don't even know what that is.
You're in a league with 18 people at a minimum, enough for each week of the season. And it's just whoever's in last place each week gets eliminated, and their entire team that they drafted goes on to waivers and people can bid for them. And then it just keeps going like that until one person remains by the end of week 18.
Woo! How much money on the line?
I put in $20, so $20 from over 18 people. So good amount of money, actually.
Say that's awesome. I should have figured it out because the TV show I've watched a lot on Food Network is called Chopped. So I should have got that. I should have got that reference. But that is a very unique way. It's a different eliminator league. I like to get in those pick'em leagues where you can't pick the same team more than once or whatever.
For sure. It was the only reason why I wanted to do it was because it was unique. Because otherwise I shouldn't have joined it because now I'm in 6 fantasy football leagues going into this year. It's too many goddamn leagues.
So this is what I do. I usually am in 6 or 7. But there's 2 that I pay for, and they're like 100 or whatever, and they're big payouts. They get 80% of my attention. The other ones are Sunday. I just go in Sunday and update the roster just so I'm just not, I'm not fielding like 3 players because I want to, be somewhat competitive. But
Oh yeah.
No, good old chopped league. I'm gonna see if I can find one of those because that sounds fun.
It is actually like very interesting, honestly. And just the concept of like when you get eliminated, your team goes on to waivers and people can bid on them to try to make a fucking super team with like all these players that they drafted and everything. And then it just keeps going and going and going and going.
Yes. So yeah, football's coming. Wrestling's good. The G1 has just started, which is honestly probably my favorite thing yearly in wrestling is the G1. I don't necessarily watch every match. I'm not there yet, but I do watch a lot of matches. Don't get me wrong, and don't die, please, sir.
That's holding it together.
I just got
drinks with me.
I just got you back. Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, sorry about me being gone. I missed Breach Break because of prior engagements.
Love is why he missed it. Love.
Hey. But she did watch this episode of Dynamite, which was her first time ever watching wrestling with me. So let's go.
Dude, nice. There you go. That's a keeper.
Hey, that's a big fucking deal. That's like meeting your parents.
Oh, dude. No, with me, it's my whatever. And this is kind of funny because it goes with the quick story, and then we'll get into the show. Whenever I date a girl, their test is they have to watch When Harry Met Sally with me. Every girlfriend I've ever had has had to watch When Harry Met Sally with me. And so it's like, do you like it? Do you get it? Blah, blah, blah. Can you sit through something that you hate? That even works for me. That's also part of the test. Even if you hate rom-coms, it's a test to can you sit through something that you hate? Because that's kind of part of being married or in a relationship is sitting through shit you don't like. So yeah, that's one of the tests. Crystal passed, of course, because I'm married to her. But that leads me into the story about one of the greatest friends of all time, Miss Jackie Rodriguez, the love you make on Twitter. She probably won't accept you if you try to follow her. I'm just letting you know. The thing is, I came home from my trip from the G1. There was this big ass brown box on the desk. Now, Jackie had been telling me something was coming, and let me just say this: I appreciate every gift I get. I assumed it was something to do with FTR. I'm like, that's what me and Jackie share. So I started opening it, and I see it's a frame picture, and I'm like, we hadn't taken a picture with FTR in a while, so I was like, I didn't know what picture it could be. So and it's like just text, and I start reading it, and let's be real, based on my expertise on the subject, I got about one line in, and I realized what it was. So every year on New Year's Eve, 10:02, something like that, the last thing I do, because I'm often at work, right? And then this started because I work. I turn on When Harry Met Sally, and then the end of the show, the ball drops. If you know the movie, it ends on New Year's Eve. They're kissing and shit. So the movie ends basically when it hits midnight where I'm at, which is in Oklahoma. So, and that's something I've done probably since I started this job. So I think I've been here about 12 years because, again, I've worked overnights. So, yeah, the thing she had framed was the dialogue from the last scene of When Harry Met Sally. And I'll say this. I am not a person that throws around, I cry, very often. I was raised in a certain family, and, you didn't cry a lot. So when I say I cry, it's not like, oh my God, did he really cry kind of thing. It means tears came out of my eyes. I don't use the word lightly. So immediately when I realized what it was, I did cry a little. I cried, and it was because, and this is if you don't have good friends, you'll never understand this. As a person that is a fan of wrestling and is so really passionate and so loving about wrestling, pretty much every gift I get, every person I talk to as far as in my family, it's wrestling. That's what they want to talk about. But if you do get into my circle or you listen to the show, and, you know, because honestly, most of the people, if you listen to the show, you're in my circle. Austin knows I have so many fandoms outside of wrestling, and those are very rarely addressed. So since I was a young child, anytime anybody asked me what your favorite movie was, it's When Harry Met Sally. Love Actually being number 2. And all these years I've been telling people, this is my favorite movie, this is my favorite movie. I never received a gift that had anything to do with it. The movie, anything. So this is the first piece of When Harry Met Sally merchandise that I ever got. And yeah, it meant the world to me. Because I even said it. If someone says, is that the best gift you have? I don't like that word because I appreciate every gift I give. I'm not ranking my gifts. But I can say it's one of the most thoughtful gifts I ever had because she went past the normal things to get me and went to something I wouldn't even thought to get myself. I, in a million years, wouldn't have bought that for me. And because of that, I love it more as much as anything that I have. And I genuinely thank Jackie for being in my life. That gift was absolutely amazing. And it made me want to watch When Harry Met Sally. But I do have a strict rule now that I'm older. I only watch it on New Year's Eve. So when I watch it on New Year's Eve this year, I'll be watching it with that framed script. Shout out to my girl Jackie. So yeah, that's
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And I will say the thoughtful gifts are the best ones. Truly, I mean, like obviously we don't rank great gifts, but the ones where, like you said, you don't even think about it. Like, oh, I would want this. Like they just know you that well that they know that he's gonna love this.
Yeah, and it was just like it was like. So I'm talking to my friend Jason, and me and Jason have known each other since I was 12 years old, and he's like, the only thought he had was, damn, I wish I would have thought of that. that was it. My wife was like,
I could have been the coolest friend.
My wife was like, she was like, yeah, that was perfect. Like that's the kind of energy. There was no like jealousy or anything. It was the energy was like, it was such a good gift. People couldn't even get mad at her because they never thought they were like, man, I almost got, no one was like, man, I would have, no, the man was like, no, I would have never thought to get you that. And these are the people that are closer to me than anyone. And it was just like, that was such a cool gift. And I even said, I was like, it's going to be one of the first things I talk about on the show because I didn't want to, get into the show, get into the wrestling part and forget to say it because it truly meant a lot to me. And it's just like, now the movie is like in something that means a lot to me already. She has made it move more because now every time I watch the movie, it's going to be kind of like I'm going to have that frame or whatever somewhere around me. It's going to be like my buddy Jackie's there watching it with me. So that's kind of awesome.
Absolutely. And shouts out to Jackie, as always. A lovely human being. doing right by our boy Floyd.
Yes.
But yes, we're going to go ahead and, guys, coming off a Beach Break, unfortunately, like I said, prior engagements, I wasn't able to talk about Beach Break, but it was a very, very good show, outside of the fact that I found out that Jack Perry re-signed. Yeah.
See, yeah, the way you felt when you found out Jack Perry re-signed is how I felt when I found out Hangman was returning on Collision.
Hey, but you could enjoy the fact that you didn't see him at all mentioned. Crazy enough to think that he wasn't mentioned on Dynamite this week after making his massive return on Collision.
Well, yeah,
genuinely kind of insane.
Because I mean, he's no longer relevant. I mean, maybe he'll be on ROH. He can go after the Pure title or the television title on ROH or something like that. Because
Hangman in the G1 would be something, honestly. Has he wrestled in the G1 before? He probably he probably got a spot. I don't honestly remember. That would be cool, but he'd have to go to Japan for a month. I don't think Hangman's flying to Japan for a month. So, but it would be cool to have 2018, yes. So he apparently 2018 he was in the G1 in
Hangman versus Suji. I could go for that. Hangman versus Aaron Wolf. I could go for that. Go meaty men, slap and meat. But it was it's cool that he's back, though.
Yeah, it is cool that he's back. We'll touch on that real quick, and then, of course, get into AEW Dynamite taking place in Boston and go over that. We're just a week away from Sunday from AEW Redemption in Montreal, which also, if I could just say this real quick, take a little quick drink right now. You'd be shocked to know that actually the reason I was coughing was because something went down my throat wrong and kind of got a little afterburn in my throat, and that's why I was coughing earlier on. Shockingly, it wasn't because I live in Michigan and Canada's trying to smoke me out with these goddamn wildfires. I swear to God. I swear to God. All my life, I have lived in this state, and I have our neighbors to the north in Canada. They have been my neighbors to the north my entire life. I don't think I've ever had to deal with goddamn wildfire smoke for like 90% of my life up until like the last couple years. And now I'm dealing with just randomly parts of Canada being on fire. And then all of a sudden the smoke comes down to me. And this time, this year specifically, these last 2 days has been the worst that I've ever seen it. Like, it is so hazy. Like, a friend of mine actually who lives in Toronto sent me a picture and the sky was orange. And I'm just like, yo, can y'all fucking listen to Smokey Bear? Only you can prevent wildfires. Fucking prevent the goddamn wildfires. Because I don't want to deal with your afterburn. Like, I was supposed to golf this morning. It was too fucking smoky. I didn't want to do it. So I was like, I guess I'll golf another day. Fucking assholes. I stick up for Canada on most things.
Yes,
not this.
Top 10 white people sentence I've ever heard. I was supposed to golf this morning, but it was too smoky, so I gotta golf another day.
I gotta
for you. For you.
It's expensive to rebook those tee times, man. They're not very forgiving. This golf course was actually forgiving. They didn't charge me or anything like that, so I was very thankful about that. But other ones, if you try to rebook within 24 hours, they're like, nah, fuck you. You're either golfing or you're eating that goddamn fucking money that you put down on it. And I'm just like, it's not cheap either. It's not. So like, fucking feel bad for me.
So, I did not know that was going on because I am the least aware of current events of any person you'll ever meet, unless it's sports. Are you paying attention to Fanatic Fest to see if LeBron made his decision there? Because I know they teased that. No, because let me just say this. LeBron James is one of my favorite athletes of all time, my favorite basketball player. I genuinely do not care where he plays next. I was hoping he retired this year. I mean, play as long as you want to play, but and as long as you're physically able to play. But I truly was just like, hey man, you are super athletic. I'm pretty sure you can go find something else to do. Sure. Yeah, like you go spend time. He likes to golf. Yeah, you can go spend time with your wife. She might kick you out because she's used to you not being home. I don't know. But like I said, I don't really comment a lot on LeBron's personal life because that's his business. But I was just like, as far as basketball, I at this point in time, he's my favorite player ever. But at this point in time, I kind of feel like with him with the Hardys. Like I've watched the Hardys for like 40 years doing the same act. I'm good. I don't really never need to see the Hardys wrestle again. I kind of feel that way about LeBron James playing basketball. It's like, God damn. I've seen you play like 20 years. You were in 11 finals. You've done this. You've won finals with every team that you've been on. Your legacy is set. It's set. If you think LeBron's the greatest player ever right now, nothing's going to change your mind. If you think Michael Jordan's the greatest player ever right now, nothing's going to change your mind. If you think it's Bill Russell or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, nothing's going to change your mind. So, hey, if it's making him happy, keep playing. But I'm just like, I don't care where he ends up. Golden State, Philadelphia, wherever. I'll watch the same 6 basketball games a season that I've watched last year. Because I think that's about as many games as I watched last year was like 6. Yeah, it's this thing called AEW. Have you heard of it?
It does control a lot of our lives.
Yes. Because it used to be like when it was just WWE for those 20 years. I'd watch Raw and SmackDown because NXT didn't exist. I'd watch Raw and SmackDown. I'd dedicate my 2 hours to Raw, my 2 hours to SmackDown, and then I'd watch football, basketball, baseball, all the other stuff. And if you wanted to talk to me about any of that shit, I could pretty much keep up because I was watching SportsCenter 3 times a day. Well, now I was like, y'all know I've already done the numbers on how many hours of wrestling I watched that week. Then I discovered other TV shows I like. Yeah, so something had to go. Baseball and basketball kind of went the way. Honestly, they just did. It was just like, because honestly, ADD, their seasons are too long.
I get you. I honestly get you.
Yeah, like, it's like, I give Florida State, 13, 14 games a year. I give Kansas City 17 to 20 games a year, and I'm out. And like, you combine those games, you don't even got half an NBA season. It's just too fucking long.
That is true.
I check out very quickly, and sometimes when I check out, I don't check back in.
All right. Well, on that note, obviously we got a lot to get to on this episode of All Things Elite regarding AEW. Real quickly, want to do our little thing and just show for a little bit. We appreciate your guys' support. So we appreciate it if you guys continue to rate, review, subscribe, turn automatic downloads on, whether you're listening to us on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. We're on Twitter. You can find us at ATElitePod. You can also follow at Social Suplex. If you're interested, of course, with the G1 Climax, keeping it strong style, those are your guys to check out. And we have a bunch of other great podcasts on Social Suplex to check out. So show some love to those guys. I'm at Austin Sumowitz, SCUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. And sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Link is in the description of this show. The big news of the week is the fact that Collision this past week, we saw the return. Our first time seeing Hangman Adam Page since he lost his chance to ever challenge for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship ever again after losing in a Texas death match to MJF. He cut his first promo being back, and he was back in Virginia. We'll touch on his promo real quick. So he talked about his love of gardening, planting a seed, watching it grow. He wished he didn't know as much as he did about cervical, I can't fucking say the right name, but radiculopathy or something. But like, apparently had a vasectomy.
Yeah, it said it on it. Had a vasectomy while he was gone. So
yeah, on his lower third.
Yeah, so occasionally, I guess the reason he takes his time off is every time he takes his time off, he takes off paternity leave. His wife has a kid. So they're like, hey, that's not going to happen anymore. That's not a problem anymore.
He's like, no more. I'm done. I'm cutting it off.
Yeah.
So he basically talked about how he wanted to plant one more seed. He doesn't know if it'll blossom into everything. He said, I did put my ability to challenge for the world title on the line against MJF, and I knew that stipulation wasn't signed in ink. It lives inside of him. He is a man of his word. He said, I will live up to that and not challenge for the AEW Wrestling Men's World Championship ever again. He said, I watched when Kenny Omega won it because it was important to me. And it was, what was most important was that Omega said after the match to finish the race, he said, I'm in a strange spot. I see miles and miles of empty track stretching before him because the TNT Championship, currently held by someone who is a former partner of mine and a current dipshit, Kevin Knight. The National Championship, currently held by Mark Davis, but by the end of the night, could be held by Speedball Mike Bailey. It was not. Continental Championship, held by a man I'd never turned down another fight with in John Moxley. And the International Championship, held by newly crowned Kyle Fletcher. 7 years, he defined himself by the goal that he had above all others to hold that world championship. And now I'm faced with the question, who am I without that world championship? And the truth is, I do not know. But we're damn sure going to find out, aren't we? Because he's like, I can hear These words, all these years echo back to me, truer now than ever before. I'm going to have to find something else to do, and you can bet your ass that I will. And that was what we got from Hangman. The promo itself I thought was good. I thought it was a nice return. Basically being like, Hangman's going to have to really discover what he is now in AEW and what his goals will be moving forward, since he cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship ever again. That being said, I find the lack of not mentioning him at all on Dynamite, even not showing the promo, to be very fucking strange.
What if his thing is he's going to be a Collision Cowboy? He's going
maybe if he's going to be a Collision Cowboy, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like if that's truly what he's going to be doing, that's completely fine. But like, it seems odd to like limit yourself to just one TV show when there's not really a split roster. Collision just exists to have more people on TV.
I think personally, because Hangman, okay, again, this is me taking off my Hangman hate hat and actually looking at it as far as AEW, bigger picture AEW, is that I just know a lot of people that kind of see the card of Collision, and if they see a good match or don't see a good match, and they'll decide whether they're going to watch it or not, right?
That is true.
But Hangman has a massive audience and fandom inside of the AEW building. And if you say, hey, if you want to see Hangman Page, you got to watch Collision, I think you could steadily see those Collision numbers go up every week.
I would interesting enough. I would lean on the side of agreeing with you, except for I would say that like that show was originally created for somebody who doesn't exist in this company anymore.
And you know what?
And the numbers they started off high, but they didn't really consistently grow.
Yes, because they started to show for him after half of the fan base started hating him.
That is true.
True. If they started it at the height of CM Punk and like, oh, you're only going to see CM Punk on Collision, I think there would have been weeks that it'd be Dynamite. But
sure,
he had pretty much alienated a good portion of the fan base before they gave him a show.
I will give you that. Yes, I will give you that.
And you know who hasn't alienated anyone in the fan base?
Hey, he alienated us.
Except us is Hangman. I'm just saying. I just think if he was like the face to Collision,
I will go on a fucking sit-down strike. I will never watch Collision again.
We will, I was at the G1 while it was happening, so I came back home. And I was like, let me check out, let me see what the old cowboy had to say. And let me just tell you something about Hangman. It was a time where I was very fond of Hangman, just like there was a time I was very fond of the other guy we brought up. And life changes. You move on. But, hey man, the idea, like I said, my I hate Hangman hat is off right now. I admire what he did. It's taking himself out of the world title picture. He is going to automatically elevate whatever title picture he's in. Continental, like he named all the champions, and there's like, oh, John Moxley would be a banger. Mark Davis would be a banger. Kyle Fletcher.
Oh, absolutely.
Kyle Fletcher would be a fucking banger. It's like Kevin Knight would be a banger. So it's like he elevates the undercard by saying he's out of the main card. Now, he might not challenge for the belt again, but if someone he doesn't like is the world champion, they can still catch that buckshot lariat. You know what I mean? He didn't say I was never going to be involved in the world title picture again. So, I think it's so interesting to me, and it's the reason I started off the show, because he's such a huge part of who Hangman is.
He is.
When you're talking about, like, the pillars of AEW, and I'm not talking about, like, the fancy name, where you talk about the names that the company was built on and had driven the company over 4 years, I don't think you can get past 4 without naming Hangman Page. So, that being said, him taking himself out of the world power picture is obviously going to make everything else more important, and it's going to leave a spot for somebody else to go after. And we're not going to get forced into a multiple other Hangman matches. We're going to see him wrestle other people in the undercard. And he's a former tag team champion. He's also a former trios champion. So maybe he could get him a group together that he wants. Maybe he can start tagging with the Dark Order again. Or maybe he can give me my dream trio of him, Bandito, and Brian Keith as the Outlaws. Or a tag team of the Hangman and the Bounty Hunter with Brian Keith. I would dig any of that. Like I said, I'm going to, again, I am taking the hat off and I'm talking earnestly now. But understand, when this is over, I'm going to go back to hating the Hangman. I'm just letting y'all know that. So, yes. I'm talking earnestly now. He has just made himself such a utility player in AEW that you can put him anywhere. You know, he can always main event a Dynamite as any of those champions, because once it's on Hangman, the belt becomes elevated. It's like the Continental title right now. I have to remind people, I know currently Kenny Omega's the AEW World Champion. But if you look at the Continental title, how it's protected, how it's defended, everything, can you say the Continental title is any less important than the AEW World title?
Probably not, no.
Let's just name all the people that have held the Continental title. Eddie Kingston, Okada, and Jon Moxley. That's it. That's your whole lineage. 3 people. It's the most protected belt in the company, even more so than the world title. So, Hangman in the C2? Sign me up. You said him in the G1? Put him in the C2. You know, let's go. And, Swerve's always there. But I kind of want to do a thing. I do one of those wrestlers. I want to be like, one of the wrestlers to be like, yeah, I don't think about Hangman anymore. I only think about people that can compete for the world title. I'm just petty enough to say that. I'm like, who?
You are.
Yes, I was going to say, I only think about world championship contenders. I'm sorry. Because somebody posted a picture today, and my boy Rich Latta was like, the new generation of AEW. I forgot exactly what he put. And I was like, Hangman was in the middle. Ospreay was on the left. Swerve was on the right. And I was like, well, you can move the guy at the middle because he's not relevant anymore. World champions only, sir. World champions
only. Yes. Well, that was the one thing we wanted to touch on for Collision. We can go ahead now and move into Boston's Dynamite, which aired July 15th, of course. The show opened with a little video package, backstage segment, basically. Will Ospreay, I should say. After Beach Break, we see he's training with the Death Riders, throwing elbows, all this type of stuff. Jon Moxley comes in, hyping up Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta because they got a tag team title match against Cage and Cope. Moxley then sits down and talks with Ospreay after he's finished doing this, in the middle of this physical workout he's doing, this physical training session. He's like, the hard part you've done is done. You won that tournament. Your neck is strong. Now the last few steps now are critical because you can make mistakes, and people making simple things, they make those simple things so complicated. You can see the finish line, but then they hesitate. You earned this, and there will come a time in your life where you'll have to make hard decisions. Your dream is not one of those hard decisions. This is very simple. When you get your shot, you do not hesitate. You pull the trigger, no matter who the target is. Mox walks away, and Ospreay continues to strike, doing all these things with his elbow, and basically Moxie's trying to get that killer instinct in him, making it like, I don't care how friendly you are with Kenny Omega. You got this chance to win the AEW World Championship in your home country at AEW's biggest show of the year. Don't fucking hold up. Like, don't pull your punches just because you're friendly with this guy. He's like, fucking go at him. And honestly, if I got to be straight, one of the few things Moxley says that I actually legitimately agree with.
Yeah, I like, it's about what you get. You know, it's like if this Coach Mox angle only leads to one thing, is that it's still this whole thing. It's just like you have to go get what you want. You can't play around. And yeah, he's making Ospreay a super guy, and I'm just like, this is interesting.
It is. I will say, I'm very intrigued. We go into the opening match of the night, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland versus the Death Riders, Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta. Thought it was fine enough. I enjoyed how there was a moment where it looked like Christian was going to tease doing the hip thrust, but it was just him raising the middle double birds against Daniel Garcia. I thought that was very, very funny. Biggest thing was the Daniel Garcia and Yuta getting Christian separated away, getting distracted by the referee, and then going and double teaming on Copeland. Christian did one spot where he proceeded, of course, to throw Daniel Garcia's head into his dick of Wheeler Yuta. The tossing spear is an interesting finish, I will say. It was pretty solid. Worked pretty well. Got the pin on Yuta. And in the stands after the successful title defense was the Young Bucks, who was showing some respect, clapping it up for Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. But then the dogs come out after officially aligning themselves with the Death Riders. The dogs and Claudio Castagnoli come out, jump Christian and Copeland, show their alliance. But then the Bang Bang Gang come to their rescue. Copeland is, Christian not so much. And still not very happy to see Jay White there. There's a little bit of like hang on a minute. And they're kind of back and forth a little bit. But eventually they leave. And it was a pretty solid, okay match. The crowd was really into it. Great chance of He's Your Father and really getting into it and like that kind of stuff. But it was, a title defense that nobody thought was going to lead to anything. I thought the match was pretty well wrestled. I liked the facial expressions of Adam Copeland selling his ass off and just being like, I love the way that he was selling it. It didn't really have too much outside of it. It was a pretty good tag team match. It wasn't anything unreal, but it was pretty okay.
Yes. I was fine. It was one of those situations I didn't understand why they were getting a tag team title match.
Because it's the Death Riders, god damn it.
Yeah, and even I was listening to the podcast, and they were like, they had never won a match. Yuta and Garcia had never won a match on AEW TV. And they somehow got a world title match. And I was like, and they're one of those teams. I think I am very big that them and then Claudio and Pac should be permanent fixtures in the tag team division.
Oh, sure.
But they should be like winning matches, having tag team feuds, that kind of thing. It shouldn't just be like, oh, you get a world title match. But it is cool. I know Christian and Cope especially is always talking about wanting to work with younger talent. He got to work with DG. He got to work with Yuta. I actually thought the match was really good. I would love to see a little energy put down behind DG and Yuta because they both kind of have this like similar build timing speed type thing, and they're kind of submission based. So a submission based tag team would be awesome. But as far as this match, it was cool. It served its purpose. The attack on them afterwards was great. The Young Bucks choosing not to get involved, like cowards. Why didn't they help? The Young Bucks choosing not to get involved. But apparently this is leading to a match at Redemption. Now, I got to tell you, I had a lot of ideas about who Christian and Cope would be defending their title at Redemption against. The two guys they announced, Pac and Claudio, were definitely not on that list of teams, seeing as I don't even know how many times they have tagged up.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like we're in this weird spot with like the tag titles, at least until we head into All In, because like we already kind of have an idea that like Young Bucks will get in there, FTR, who knows? Like, I mean, again, they're more than likely still going to be on their break just after what everything Dak said, but you never know. But Young Bucks still seem like the leading way that we're going with, at least. I'm still holding out hope that, God damn it, I saw a video get posted from them today. Get me my goddamn Motor City Machine Guns in this fucking company before All In. I'm telling you, I need this. I need this so bad.
See, and this is what I am. Okay. Now, this is one of those, you call me petty. You can use the T word that I don't like. You can call me what you want to. But when they picked WWE over AEW that first time, I gotta be real, I was like, fuck them. Like,
I get you, man.
Yeah, like, so if they show up, great. Because I used to I like the Motor City Machine Guns. But they made a terrible choice.
We all make mistakes, my guy. We all make mistakes.
But they're as old as I am. You should be old enough not to make that mistake. You should have known better.
I mean, yeah.
People that look like you don't tend to last in WWE very long, sirs. So no, I honestly will welcome them with open arms. Anything to make, I love tag team wrestling, so I will put any pride or any annoyance or any pettiness I have aside if it increases and puts more views on the tag team division. All I got, this is what I got to say. I'm glad Motor City Machine Guns are coming, all this stuff. I saw Collision, what's going on, and I saw like they did this thing on Dynamite we'll talk about later with the tag team. And man, when can the Guns get these matches?
I agree with that, actually. Yeah.
When can the Guns get some dubs? I got two bones to pick with this one. First of all, when can the Guns get some dubs? Can the Guns wrestle, please? I have to watch one FW to watch the Guns wrestle. I have to watch a whole different company to watch my boys wrestle. So, can we get some time with the Guns? Second of all, Hangman Page came back, had a whole shirt collection. Swerve came back, shirt collection. All these motherfuckers come back getting shirts. I can't get a new Jay White shirt? What the fuck?
That is pretty surprising, actually.
Shop AEW. Why can't I have a Jay White shirt? I was perturbed because Tyler, my boy Tyler, who's one of the bigger Jay White fans I know, keeps asking me when the Jay White shirt. And I keep saying, it's coming. It's coming. Obviously, he just came back. It's coming. Where's his shirt? Where the new Bang Bang Gang shirt with the switches back? Where you have Bang Bang Gang on the front and put the switches back on the back. There's your shirt. There you go. I just did your fucking job for you. Give me a fucking Jay White shirt. Give me my boy Tyler a Jay White shirt. It's time. I am annoyed. I need FanFest and I need a Jay White shirt so all of his fans can buy him and breathe with Switchblade. And put the Guns. Let them win. Let them win.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I saw a tag team come out that we barely see. They come out for 10 seconds and they do a tag team match. And they do this whole tag team match to build up a singles match. What happened to having tag team matches to, build up tag team matches?
Yeah.
And we continue. I'm not going to bitch anymore. But
we will continue.
I mean, I know there are people out there. There are the women wrestling people out there that like all they care about is women's wrestling and where women's wrestling is, and that women are getting better spots on the card. I know they're very happy with the show last night. If that's the case, me, I'm a tag team guy. I love tag team wrestling. I want tag teams and people that want to make their living as a tag team to get pushed. I'm not talking about a tag team to get this guy over so he can be in the same. I'm talking about tag teams that stay tag teams. You know who's going to stay a tag team? Austin and Colton. They're brothers. They want to tag each other. They want to stay a tag team. Let them tag team wrestle. It's the problem isn't talent in the tag team division. The problem is time in the tag team division. We don't dedicate enough to it.
Yeah, I feel you there. I absolutely feel you there. We go ahead then. We have a backstage segment with Andrade El Idolo, basically talking about how, he's a man of destiny, and he was saying how he's going to have his match with Jake Doyle to get close to get a shot against Mark Davis for the AEW national title. He says, if I have to fight every member of the Don Callis family, I will. if I were to take all their championships, I will. It's my destiny to be AEW World Champion. And Renee Paquette is there and asks, like, what about the numbers advantage? He's like, tranquila. He then proceeds to show a little box, little ring box, and it has MJF's Dynamite diamond ring. And he's like, how'd you get it? Where'd you get it? And he's like, I have a good friend. And he said, is that friend Will Ospreay? Since he was the one that stole the Dynamite diamond ring that cost MJF the world title against Kenny Omega.
Fear. That was
Andrade's
fear.
like, how'd you know?
I wonder does Will Ospreay sleep well at night, knowing that he was so scared of MJF that he cost him his title. I wonder if he's able to sleep at night, knowing that even if he wins in the UK, he would only be beating the second best option at that, because MJF was, the better wrestler until Will Ospreay screwed him over. But that being said, how you know? Yeah, I use that so much in life now, especially when it's inappropriate. Like, it's not the right answer.
Yeah.
Like, how you know?
How you know?
Like, someone in the Discord was like, Brodito did more for the tag team division than FTR and CNC combined. And I was like, all of them like, how you know?
How you know?
How you know? It's like, it's almost like when I disagree, but I don't want to argue with you. How you know?
Truly, how you know?
How you know?
But yes, we then go ahead and we transition into another backstage segment, basically with the Demand and the Lethal, because the conglomeration, the trios champions, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly, were asked about other teams, and hey man, this would be a perfect time for a team to come up and challenge us. Oh, would you look at that? And here comes the Demand. Ricochet has Toa Leona and Bishop Khan. We didn't come over to fight, and that's lucky because we would have put you down. And he's like, keeping those belts in your backpack does the championship and the division a disservice. It's time to go around the waist of greatness and allow us to take that weight. They reached for the gold, and Roderick Strong slapped his arm away, and Ricochet was like, try to stop anybody from getting physical, and Kyle O'Reilly's like, these are the trios titles, boys. There's 3 of us, and apparently there's 3. No, there's not. The Lethal Twist. They jump him with the conglomeration from behind, and Demand beats him down with Lee Johnson and Blake Christian, start beating him down, and Jay Lethal as well. I should not forget. They put the boots to them. They're down on the floor, and he's like, I'm a man in my word. Nobody in the Demand was going to get anybody get with y'all, but those guys, they're not in the Demand yet. And then they leave together, and then they try to get some help. So seemingly, the Demand might be growing, and it might be taking the Lethal Twist and putting them in the Demand to give them some more bodies.
Super
Thoughts
faction.
on the... Yeah, super faction, maybe?
Super factions. I'm like, we just need, like, so many guys. Dude, if you're going to do all these factions, and again, it's a concept that I do not know how I would execute, but it is an idea. We need to do a faction warfare night in AEW, where it's just like all the factions either against each other or one faction just a bunch of matches. Because like I said, it was one point where I was like, man, you could do Don Callis family versus like the Death Riders and Dogs and shit. That's a show. You don't even need anything else.
Yeah.
It is one of those things where factions are such a strong part of AEW. It's anytime people are talking about like what makes AEW different from WWE, I'm like, dude, factions. It's like, it's always running, and they're not all just created to break up. Like, shit, everybody was like, again, this is not Victory Lap. This is just a point of how AEW is different. It's like, Mox loses the title. In every other company, probably in the history of wrestling, the Death Riders turn on Mox, right?
Right.
They just kept going. They just kept going, and they almost seem to be stronger now. This was this hated heel faction that everybody just wants on the TV, and then they kind of went back to a beloved babyface faction. Now they seem to be migrating to heel. I have never seen a team play the tweener role like the Death Riders. So that being said, you need a big heel group. You know what? You got Ricochet and the man. You put the Lethal Twist. Keep Jay Lethal's always available on my TV because that man can wrestle. Blake Christian's amazing. Lee Johnson's coming up. You know, a little bit more time. He'll get there. And it's just like, so that's a way to get all of them on TV more. So sign me up.
It is a way to get them more on TV. That's for damn sure. So I would absolutely be rooting for that. We then have Andrade El Idolo taking on Jake Doyle for a title match for the national championship against Mark Davis on the line. Good-ass match. Jake Doyle showcasing that size, like running over Andrade at points in this match. There was a great moment where Andrade reveals that underneath his shirt, he's got a fuck Don, fuck MJF shirt, but the red tape over the word fuck is there. So that was very, very funny. Jake Doyle was throwing Andrade around for a good bit. But Andrade eventually able to get it going. Great moonsault. It's basically just Andrade's physicality and his strength trying to go off against that. But eventually, though, he's able to outwork him and get the El Diaz de los Muertes and then the DM. The combination of those two gets the pinfall. And it will be Mark Davis defending his national championship against Andrade El Idolo at AEW Redemption. Really strong match. Andrade continues to just really shine. Honestly, and we'll talk about this as we go into the next segment where we talk about Kenny Omega's World Championship celebration. This is a guy that I do not think would be out of place if he was in the world title picture right now. Truly. Now, I do like how, he's defected from the Don Callis family and he wants to take some gold away from the Don Callis family. I think that is a good role for him to be in storyline wise, and him taking the national championship is a good starting place. However, I do believe that this man could absolutely be challenging Kenny Omega right now if he wanted to. And if AEW felt the need to put him in that position, and it would be a fucking banger of a match too.
Dude, Andrade feels as hot as he's ever felt. He has. I remember the NXT Black and Gold, the time with him as the champion and him with Zelina. I literally thought after he left Zelina, I would never feel as excited about him like that again. And he has absolutely proven me wrong there. Because right now this is probably the highest I've been on Andrade, and it's funny because came from a very awkward interview, and it ends up being a catchphrase. So some things are allowed to grow organically, and this is one of them.
Yeah, I mean it definitely grows organically for sure, and it's done so well.
Dude, honestly. I remember the first time he used it, he's like, he wanted Darby to work for him, and he's like, Darby's not a little boy, he's a grown man. He's like, how you know? And I just remember Marvez and Tony Schiavone having this, or I forgot exactly who the interview was, had such a confused look because they didn't know how to reply to that. Like, what do I say? So yeah, how you know? I stole it, man, and it's just so funny. Good, man. It's so good.
We then go ahead and go into the AEW World Championship celebration for Kenny Omega.
Oh my God! Now,
some thoughts about this,
dude. Oh my God! I would literally rather watch paint dry than listen to Kenny Omega speak.
I knew that's where you were gonna go, man.
A guy, you've seen Ferris Bueller, right?
Yes.
When he talks Bueller. It's so monotone. There's no excitement in it. There's no passion in it. It's like, oh, it's subtle. Fuck that. Wrestling is the least thing you should be in professional wrestling.
My biggest problem with Kenny is that he repeats himself.
And like I said, I don't know where the promo's going. It's just like they just throw a mic in and let them talk. And it's just like some wrestlers need to be scripted. He's one of them. I will write his promo for him. You know what I would write on the paper? I'm Kenny Omega, and I'm going to knee you in the fucking face. That's all you got to say. It's like I've never had this big a gap between how much I love someone's in-ring work and how much I hate them on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Just ring the fucking bell when Kenny's there. That's when he should show up. Dude, when he was down, that was perfect because he didn't have to talk. And it just let down, say everything, and then they ring the fucking bell. Oh my God, everything, it's unique. Yeah, just because it's different doesn't mean it's good. It's fucking terrible. Oh my God, I can't wait for Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay to wrestle. It's going to be one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. I am probably going to be like standing on my feet the whole thing. These are the two greatest performers of all time. If you do not hear the respect I have in my voice for Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, I don't know what to tell you. Take the mic away from these fuckers.
Yeah, so getting into what he said, basically, I'll be quick on it. Of course, the Young Bucks were there, giving their flowers to Kenny, and they were speaking on how Kenny was talking about how basically, it feels so good for him to hold this again. It was never supposed to happen, and yet here we are. And he's like, you're going to get the best version of me. Will Ospreay comes into the ring and goes and apologizes to the EVPs. Former EVPs, he cost them their jobs, and he's like, glad you landed on your feet, though. He's like, one-on-one conversation with Kenny, please, if you will. And he talks basically how he wants to speak on behalf of Boston. It's great to see you as the world champion again. And he's like, no matter what, I believed in you. You had to believe in yourself. I was front row to see you battle. We thought it was over once you got hit with the Triple B, but then you kicked out at one, you cheeky slag. That was funny. He's like, the cleaner's back, Best Bout Machine is back, and Kenny's and Will's basically like, I know that's going to be heating up on the road to All In, and it's like, it's crazy enough to think it's going to be amazing that we get to see the real life Goku versus Vegeta fight it out here in this ring at All In. Oh, did that line piss people off?
I gotta say this. As a non-Dragon Ball Z watcher, I did like that line because you could generally get the idea what they're talking about, whether you watch it or not. But that I liked because it was personal to Will and Kenny Omega. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They both spent a lot of time. That was personal to them. They didn't use like Red Sox and Yankees to get a cheap pop or anything. They made that line was personal to them. So yes, as much as I hate them on the mic, I like that one line. And yes. I was not asleep. I stayed awake long enough to hear it.
No, but people didn't like that line. Though I do say it is funny for him to say that, though, considering the fact that, these guys.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Have wrestled before.
No, but Goku and Vegeta. Okay.
Yes.
Are you a Dragon Ball Z guy?
No, Jared is a big Dragon Ball Z guy, and he's just like, I don't even know who would be who. And I'm like, bro, I need you to answer that for me. You're the one that watches Dragon Ball.
Hey, you know what? That's the exact question I was going to ask you as a person that doesn't know who's who. I guess we'll find that out during the match. But I need a Dragon Ball Z crossover shirt. Goku and Vegeta with Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega as the characters. Hey, if you're going to do it, don't use AI.
Jared told me, he's like, I guess Will would be Goku just because he's taller, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't want the I don't want no AI stuff. If you're gonna do it, make it good, make it unlicensed. Size 3X for me. Size, I think you're what, medium?
Yes.
Yeah, there is. So just send them our way. You know, I can hit up at AT Elite, get the shirts made. But no, I thought it was a cool reference because that reference is for the AEW fan base.
Yes.
That's not a reference you're going to see on very often on WWE. And a shout out when the New Day was there, they did a whole Dragon Ball Z thing for WrestleMania. So, you know, and the New Day, where are they going to end up? Where are they going to end up? But no, I was just like, that was cool. Now, he could have used any other reference that people would get, like Iron Man versus Captain America, Superman versus Batman. You know, literally on HBO Max, you could have used that reference, but he went with Goku and Vegeta. You know, like 10 people got it. And I'm pretty sure there's somebody that has wrote a Reddit or Discord dissertation breaking down which one is which. I will never read it. You get 2 sentences to explain why each one it is, because I am terrified of anime. Dragon Ball Z is considered anime, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes. I want to make sure I'm terrified of anime, because if you know me and you know how I consume things, yeah, that would be a problem. I don't have time for another fandom, so I avoid anime like it's heroin. It has nothing to do with whether I think I'll like it or not. I think I'll like it too much, so I'm staying away from it.
Fair enough.
So no, that line was cool. Got to give props.
Yes,
where credit's due.
Yes, but basically from that point, we then have Will talking about how when I think of AEW, I think of Kenny Omega. He's like, all I ever wanted was to be a fraction of the wrestler that Kenny Omega was, but now I'm locked in, bruv, and I'm not happy with being second. And Kenny's like, nor should you be, Will. And he's like, you know, we're going to be out here every single week showing why we're in the position we're in, and let's show them why this is where the best wrestles on Sunday the 30th at Wembley Stadium. And then they get interrupted by the TNT champion, the Jet, Kevin Knight. Kevin's like, Will, it's my turn to speak to Kenny. Champ to champ. And Kenny's like, no, you can stay. And, you know, he's like, I'm still owed a title shot courtesy of Maxwell Jacob Fraudman, is what he referred to him as.
Dude,
I'm coming to collect.
I don't know if my earring was turned up. I could not tell what the fuck he was saying. I just thought he was saying his name wrong.
No, Kenny was saying his name wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was like. And it was just like,
Kenny was absolutely not saying Maxwell correctly.
Yes. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, continue.
Yes. But, so Kenny is challenged by Kevin Knight for the World Championship. And then Kenny was like, why would you think I would try to hold me to MJF's word? Why would I give you a shot just because MJF promised you one? He's like, I'm not going to do that. But maybe I'll just give you a shot because I'm a nice guy. And the first time that I saw you, I saw something special. And he goes on and on about how he's got it, that undeniable factor, all this type of stuff, someone who looks the part, faster than everybody, somebody who could jump higher, and someone who was hungry, but you had to go and do something silly and align yourself with Don Callis. And he's like, listen, I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't believe Don Callis' Siren Song. Last time I held it was because of Don Callis. And, you know, I thought because we were like with coronavirus going on, I thought, oh, it's because of the lockdown why no one came to my celebration. But if I was being truthful, even if we weren't in a lockdown, no one would have shown up for me anyway because no one cheered for me. No one believed in me. No one was proud of that guy. And that's when my self-worth and my worth to the fans went down the toilet. And then he's like, you know what? I'm saying what I believe. These are also the words that Speedball believes and the words that Will believes. And you don't have to be Kevin Don Callis Lapdog Knight. And that's something the fans feel like too. He's like, the only fraud though that I'm seeing, since you called him Maxwell Jacob Fraudman, is you, because you're not being yourself. That shit spewing is not coming from what's in here. And he's like, if you want to be Kevin the Jet Knight, not Kevin Don Callis little bitch Knight, and if you want to be Kevin Two Belts Knight, you got to do it on your own. And Kevin Knight's like, you make a good claim that I came here far on my own, but the disagreeing, there's no goodness left in my heart, only greatness. Mike to the head of Kenny Omega. Will Ospreay tries to hit him with a hidden blade. He ducks it. Kevin then goes up the ramp, but then Darby Allin out of fucking nowhere just jumps his ass and starts wailing. And then Brian Cage picks him up and knocks him down. Don Callis family comes out, and they come out to try to do some damage, but Trent Beretta gets Snapdragon suplexed, and then the other guys come in there. Will Ospreay, though, comes and is there to help, and then Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli from the Death Riders protect Ospreay and cover him down and chase off the Don Callis family from that point onward. So, I will jump in on this real quickly and firstly say, I want to preface this by saying, I think Kenny Omega versus the Jet Kevin Knight for the AEW World Championship will be a banger of a match. I think Kevin is a really, really good wrestler. He's going up against the best bout machine. It should be a really good match. I'm not questioning what the in-ring product will be at AEW Redemption. That is not at all what I'm questioning. What I am questioning is, why is this a main event match?
This is the most Saturday night main event match I've ever seen. I'm hoping they go with they go with Willow and Tekla as the main event of the show. They won't.
Should be the main event.
They won't.
It's the bigger match.
They won't. But I wish they would.
Yes. And quite frankly, like, yes, this could have main evented Beach Break.
Dude.
Because it could have main evented a TV episode of Dynamite, but you could have given it a different name or whatever.
Yes.
Like this could have been a Fight for the Fallen main event, and everyone would have been fine with it.
Yes.
This is a brand new pay-per-view that you're adding to the schedule, and this is a main event leading into the biggest show of the year. So like, this is the last pay-per-view on the schedule going into...
So I have a theory.
Okay.
So I was looking at when this is, right?
Yes.
And I think it's replacing Wrestle Dream this year.
Yes.
And the reason I say that is because if you look at when All Out was announced, end of September, and you look at when Full Gear's announced, there's only 6 weeks there. You can't fit a pay-per-view in there. So I think that this is more of, we are contractually obligated to have 10 pay-per-views on HBO Max every year, so we call this a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it feels like to me. That's what it feels like to people that are outside of the AEW fan base. That a couple of my friends that are going are just kind of like, that kind of thing. And it's just like, but this is what I'll say to that. Say all you want. It'll probably end up being one of the better pay-per-views of the year because that's what AEW always does. Whenever
there are still banger matches. Tekla and Willow is going to be fucking great. Kyle Fletcher eventually found out who he's going to be defending the international championship against on this show, and that match, to me, is honestly the reason why I'll probably buy the pay-per-view.
Yes. So it is what it is.
So yeah, but either way, I don't think that this is. And again, let's keep this frank. This is Kenny Omega's first title defense as brand new AEW World Champion, and it is weak sauce. Like, unfortunately, and it's nothing against Kevin Knight. I think he is very talented and has a shitload of potential. But also, I just don't like the idea of a guy holding a secondary title, still holding that title, and then proceeding to go after the world title.
Because I've been calling it for 2 months or whatever, that Speedball Mike Bailey was going to be Kevin Knight for the fucking TNT title in Montreal. They said, fuck all that. And most of all, that with this, they did this with All Out last year with Fletcher and Hangman. It's just, who's going to win. It's like, it's impossible for me to get truly excited about this match because I know the winner is not even close to being in doubt.
And it's so funny too, because I was hearing Meltzer talk about this too, because it's like they're specifically trying to make sure and you know for certain. Hey guys, the money match of Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega for the World Championship at All In. There is no jeopardizing that match. It will happen. Don't worry about it. Like, don't feel like there's any instance where Kenny's going to lose his title leading into All In. We're going to make sure you know he's not losing it going into that show. So that way you know that match will still happen at All In London. And I'm like, I think we knew that regardless once they announced it, you know? The idea that they would have booked the idea like, oh, Kenny's going to defend the title against Will Ospreay at London and then sweep the rug from underneath our feet and then take that match off the card because Kenny loses the title beforehand. Like, the idea that would have happened, I don't think would have crossed any fan's mind.
Well, and this is what this comes down to. From what I understand, this was supposed to be MJF and Kenny.
Yes, that was what I heard too, yes.
Yeah, and then they didn't do it. I mean, I have my own speculation that MJF's knee or leg was a little more fucked up than he wanted to. He didn't know if he can make it all the way to Redemption. Again, this is speculation. This is me guessing. This is not any information. So he's like, okay, let's just do it on a TV show. And then since Kenny Omega wanted originally on a TV show, it actually fit into it. And then they just kind of had to throw somebody into this match. And it was just like, oh, my friend was like, well, if they do a 6-man match as the main event, I'm going to be pissed. So they announced Kevin Knight, and he was like, it's Kevin Knight. And I was like, what the fuck did you want? He's like, I wanted to be Okada. So you just thought they were going to throw Omega Okada in a match with like a week's notice, 2 weeks notice?
Yeah.
Like also, one of the biggest matches they have.
Also while you're leading into one of their other biggest matches they're going to have with Kenny versus Will.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I think your expectations were, not reality, that was never going to happen. But again, it's going to get Kevin Knight in a big spot. You're going to see Kevin Knight work with someone. You've seen him work with Okada, but you're going to see him work in a big spot. And it's like, you know what? We're going to put you in the 20-foot deepest end of the pool in the middle of the ocean or whatever. Let's sink or swim. Let's see what you got. And that's what they're doing. I think Kevin Knight's going to step up. We will find out.
Yes.
Also, I've literally seen Kenny have an amazing match with a blow-up doll, so...
Correct. It's not a concern. Like I said, it's not a concern of the match quality. It's literally the only thing was just like, you know what? It would have been nice, I should have had a great
I would have liked Kevin Knight on this case. I would have liked Will Ospreay to leave, Kenny Omega be celebrated, and Kevin Knight just go out and beats the shit out of him. Then I feel like I would have been like a little bit more okay with this.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, just like give me some heat. I want to
give me some meat.
Give me some heat. Heat. No, but yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Backstage segment with Jack Perry. Who gives a fuck? He's having an open challenge, whatever, on Collision. For he wants a young up-and-starter to come and face him. Nick Wayne's going to face him. I want him to beat his ass. He's not going to beat his ass. Whatever, we move on. And then Brodito had a tag match. Faced Nick Camarado and Aaron Solo. It was a relative squash match for the most part. But not much to say there, at least in that regard.
Nope.
And then we go ahead and we go into... the big night, the big thing. AEW International Championship, Protostar Kyle Fletcher versus Commander.
Okay, yeah. This was the match of the night. This was the best thing on Dynamite. This is the best thing you'll see at wrestling this week.
Yes. And before the match, Kyle Fletcher was talking with Don Callis, and that's when Brodito was coming through and was celebrating their win, and they had a Bandito Most Wanted poster that they gave to Fletcher. He crumpled it up and then went to the ring into this match. Like I said, I was watching this show with my lovely girlfriend. First time she's ever watched wrestling with me, so it was a really fucking big deal. And I was like, I already knew in my head, I'm like, this, if there's a match that she's going to take from this show specifically that she's going to actually be like, I like that. I thought it was really good. I said it was probably going to be this match, and I was right. She was very, very taken aback at how good this match was. What was also funny was the fact too that Sydney got the this month's AEW All Elite crate, the bi-monthly or however long they do it, the mystery box they send every other month or whatever the hell with different merchandise. And this month's came with Kyle Fletcher's dangly like beads sunglasses that he wears, the pink ones with the dangly stuff on it. And I was like, yeah, I'm wearing these during the fucking match. Hell yeah. But let it be known, man, Commander fucking wrestling his goddamn ass off in this match. This dude, like, again, shouts out to him. He kind of was a situation where like he's in the same position that Bandito was years ago, where he was just another luchador on the roster. But he was like, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to wrestle Kyle Fletcher, and we're going to fucking tear the house down. And that's exactly what they did. I mean, he had a really good performance too. He wrestled at the Brawl at the Ballpark with the Minnesota Twins game. So he got to shine there. Did his amazing spot where he just tightrope walks the top rope and then dives to the outside onto Kyle Fletcher. It's truly spectacular just watching him do that, and then just the grace he does when he moonsaults off of the other side of the top rope. The striking in this one was amazing. Fletcher had a boot to the outside that like flipped Commander upside down. The spot that I loved especially was when we come back from a commercial break from picture in picture. Fletcher is like getting chopped or whatever by Commander, and he's like, come on, bring more. Give me more. Like he wants him to like really give it to him. And eventually he does his little combo attacks and then chops him in the chest. Fletcher starts wiping his chest like, okay, I see. All right, you wanted some now? And then just immediately gets like super kicked in the throat, and he just falls backwards, sells it perfectly, falls onto his butt. Like such a great super kick. Commander then, great dive to the outside to Hurricanrana him. And he dives and does the Hurricanrana, and Fletcher gets sent into the announce table and gets sliced in his fucking stomach on the corner of the announce table. That shit looked like it fucking sucked. And then you get Fletcher on the inside of the ring, and then the unbelievable springboard into the Canadian Destroyer. Like he literally is like ahead. Like it's the most damnedest thing in terms of gifts that you can see when it comes to pro wrestling. Like holy shit, what a move from Commander. Crowd was losing their mind at that point. But then a great moment where tries to do a tornado DDT off of the top rope onto him, diving onto Fletcher, but he catches him and uses his strength and hits the brain buster. Great title defense from Kyle Fletcher. Unbelievable stuff. However, then because Fletcher's a dick, tries to rip the mask off of Commander, and then that's when Takeshita comes out and he starts throwing some haymakers. And then the Don Callis family then proceeds to have the upper hand on that because Kazuchika Okada is here. And he knocks out Konosuke Takeshita. And then that's when they think, oh boy, we got him where we want him. But then Brodito comes out and evens the odds, helps out Takeshita, and helps out Commander there. And that's when we get the confirmation that at Redemption, we will have Kyle Fletcher versus Bandito for the AEW International Championship. And if this match was any inclination of what we're going to get at Redemption, it's going to steal the goddamn show.
So this is what I needed. I immediately needed Brodito versus Proto Okada announced for next week's Dynamite.
Dude, seriously.
And I was waiting, and I was sitting there waiting for them to announce it. And then they didn't announce it for Collision, and they announced it for Dynamite. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so Tony Khan and whoever's listening to the show by next Thursday, which is because Collision's on Thursday next week, I needed Proto Okada versus Brodito. I need that to be the main event of Collision next week. Thank you. Thank you in advance.
According, this is from your friendly neighborhood Floyd. Please make this happen.
I'm just like, dude, as soon as I saw those four in the ring, I was like, oh my God, I need this. I need this. I need this. I need this. I need
Absolutely.
this. And I'm pretty sure every other AEW fan was like, I need this. I need this. I need this. So you want to get people to tune into fucking Collision? Get in the show, Brodito versus Protocada. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's make this happen, dude. Well, like, come on. So yeah. But either way, unreal match of the night. If there's ever a match that you're going to go back and watch from this show, it would be this. Renee Paquette's interviewing Kenny Omega backstage about his match with Kevin Knight, and he's just like, I have not given up hope on Kevin Knight. I still think there is some good in him. And Darby Allin walks in, and he's like, you literally do not get it. He is not going to change. You need to physically humble this guy in order to get him to change. You can waste your time talking. Next week, I'm taking the TNT Championship from him, and I'm going to humble Kevin Knight. You can waste your time talking or beat it out of him.
Yes.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna say.
Kenny's like, I'll leave it to you, man. You do it. And he's like, you're wasting your time, Kenny. And Moxley then appears and goes, he's right. Some people are what they are, and they can't be anything else, even if they try. And then he walks away.
70s. Darby sounded like a 70s and 80s dad there. I got to beat it out of him.
Beat it out
of him. I love it. And he's like, yeah. You're like, yeah, we got to beat it out of him. And I'm just like, okay. Do you, brother? All right, let's see how this works out. No, I loved it because it showed the three distinct personalities of three main characters in the three of the main characters in AEW. Kenny Omega, nothing excites him. He doesn't get angry. He's always even tempered. Whether I like it or not, that's not up to decision. Darby Allin's like punch first, think later, and then Mox is kind of on Darby's line, but a little more calm about it. He's more serial killer. The Mox is more of the serial killer of the group. He's going to stay calm and then murder you. So it was just like seeing the three distinct personalities of three former world champions is amazing. I almost forgot Darby was the world champion right there. But yeah, three former world champions.
How dare you? How dare you? That was the greatest time of my life. How would you dare forget that?
Sure. Yep, it was amazing. Like, that's where I am in my life. I don't argue with people anymore. Hey, if that's what you think, made you happy.
Yeah,
that works for me. As long as you're happy.
But yes, we then go ahead. There's a quick little moment where the Brawling Birds are like, it's the Brawling Birds are back. We're gonna drink our way all the way to Wembley Stadium. And England lost in the World Cup because, of course, they fucking did. I could have told you that from the moment they got up onto the field against fucking Argentina. They did exactly what Arsenal did in the Champions League. Because people gave Arsenal so much shit for scoring first and then parking the bus and then trying to hold it out. And then the England national team does the exact same thing. They take an early lead on Argentina. They don't finish the job and actually try to put their foot on their neck, and they let Argentina come back. And then in added time, you just proceed to let Messi put a bullet in you as he crosses it into a header. And then there you go. You just let the bad people win.
Yeah,
I think Messi's great, but Argentina's fans, something's wrong with y'all. Truly something's wrong with y'all. And some of y'all might be racist, so that's another thing too. But also, something's wrong with y'all. So now it's all on Yamal. Yamal and Spain need to get this shit done. And if they get this shit done, I'm buying a Barcelona jersey because Ed Sheeran has a collab jersey with Barcelona, with Yamal, that I can get on their shop, and I will buy that, even though it's probably fucking $500 because I don't know why Barcelona charges so much for their goddamn jerseys. Y'all are fucking nuts, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm bad with money.
Okay. Yeah, that was the soccer aspect of this. I just want to say I am very sad that the UK didn't, or England didn't win. I always root for England because of my friends and some friends that I consider family that live in England, and they just care. I will never root for America to win the World Cup. And people are like, why? Because we don't really care. Most of us don't
And also,
care.
it's just not going to happen either.
No, I'm
We're
just
not
saying,
good enough.
it's not even that. It's just most of us don't care. It's just like, you just want to win because it's America. I wanted to go to a country that would actually care. Just a party when England would have won. Like, because I'm going to, All In next month or whatever. Dude, that party would still be going on if England won.
Yes.
Dude, it'd be the greatest party in the world if England finally comes home. Which I have to say, I was disappointed in JR, because all week I kept saying it's coming home, and he's like, dude, it's coming home, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, that's literally England's battle cry. You care about this more than I do. How do you not know that?
That is actually surprising that he does not know that.
I was like, how do you not know that? I don't even care. I watched maybe 6 minutes of soccer this whole World Cup. And I was like, how do you not know it's coming home? And honestly, I've rooted for England ever since I saw the movie Fever Pitch. And everybody's like, Fever Pitch? No, there was an original Fever Pitch that was about, it was based in 1966 when England won the World Cup. It was starring Colin Firth. You should check it out. It was what the Jimmy Fallon Boston Red Sox movie was based on. So I like that original movie, and I was like, ever since then, I've rooted for England to win the World Cup, because again, I just don't think Americans would appreciate it, so we don't deserve it.
We wouldn't, absolutely. And also, again, I will repeat it for the people in the back. We're not good enough. Like, not even close.
Yeah, but, people put on their flag-colored underwear and get erections this time of year for soccer. For
sure,
some
but we're not good enough. We are not good enough.
I have my own theory, and it's always been the best athletes in the country don't play soccer here. They generally go for the other sports that are more popular.
That is true. But either way, so the Brawling Birds are like, we're not going to be lying down. We have Wembley Stadium in our sights. We're going to take out anyone who gets in our way. We're going to the pub. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, Brawling Bird. Fuck yeah.
I love that their whole gimmick is they're just aggressively British.
Yes.
What who are these? They are just two aggressively British people.
What they are.
It's like, yeah, they're two, like, they want to drink, they want to fight. I mean, literally, they're the female version of the Bar.
Speak of the devil,
Yeah, no, it was straight, like, I was talking, and that popped up in my head, and I'm like, they are the female version of the Bar.
Isn't that interesting?
That was our original thought. Just right now, I just came up with it. Even though you've probably heard it, people say it on your Discords or your Reddits or whatever. They're the female version of the Bar.
That they are. But either way, we go ahead and we go into the next moment of this show, which is we have Jericho. He had a silhouette. He's like, Ciampa, last week you left me bloodied and battered, but I liked it. So we're going to do it again at Redemption, but let's raise the stakes. You bring the pain, and I'll bring the pain maker. Hell is coming for you.
I know Chris Jericho will never do this, but I honestly want him in the Don Callis role at this point in time in his career. Like, if he was like managing the Demand or some group of baby faces, maybe he becomes the advisor of the Collision. I mean, the conglomeration or whatever.
The conglomeration, yes.
Yes, or just take some young guys and take them under your wing and, put them ahead, and he plays into this role. But this was like, and believe me, I will absolutely, Chris Jericho said this week, people are going to miss me when I'm gone. And I'm like, but at this point, you don't have to retire from wrestling. You can still be a major contributor, because you could be the anti-Don Callis family.
You could, yes.
You could do something like that, or there's many other roles for Chris Jericho. But I just don't get excited about him wrestling anymore. Does this angle make sense? Absolutely. Is the match going to probably bank? Absolutely. I'm just not excited about it because, I think I'm good. On Chris Jericho. I'll never count on Chris Jericho. I always hear Rich Latta in my head saying that, but I think I'm good at this point. Like, I remember when Jeff Jarrett was fighting Hangman, and I was like, last year, and I was like, who the fuck cares about Jeff Jarrett? Like, who cares that he's getting beat up by Hangman or whoever, or MJF or whoever it was at the time? I think it was MJF. I kind of feel like that. It's like I'm supposed to feel like sympathy for Chris Jericho. But I don't really care. It's just kind of another match on the card. You know, when when you're watching AEW pay-per-views and they're getting a little long in the tooth and you're like, man, there's a match that they could have left off this card. I don't even know the rest of the card, and I know Chris Jericho and Tommaso Ciampa is the match they could have left off this card.
Yeah. And also, I'm just like, this is what I was telling people. Like, I was like, okay, Jericho's back. You know, what does Chris Jericho in 2026 look like? And apparently the answer to that question is Chris Jericho in 2026 in AEW looks like Chris Jericho in 2019. But just older and not nearly as fresh. We're getting the Painmaker again. Okay. I don't care.
Yeah,
I have lost all ability to care about Chris Jericho in AEW.
Again.
Like, he's back, and like, to me, it's just, it screams retirement tour to me. It screams like I'm doing the hits one last time, and I'm going to do all this, and I'm going to ride off into the sunset, but it's not a retirement tour. And Chris Jericho, don't even say that word, you know? This dude is not even feeling like he's even remotely close to being done. And I'm not out here advocating for Chris Jericho to retire. What I'm advocating for is Chris Jericho to do something fucking different. That is what I'm advocating for. I am advocating for Chris Jericho to please switch it up. Because I am not interested in seeing this version of Chris Jericho in AEW. There is, frankly, too much talent and too much to look forward to in AEW for TV time to go to Chris Jericho just doing typical Chris Jericho stuff. I don't have an appetite for that anymore. He was gone for so long, and we had so many rumors about him going back to WWE and all this type of stuff. And, you know, people were ready to pack Chris Jericho into a box and ship him away. Don't get it twisted. AEW fans were like ready to let this guy be like, yep, see you, don't let the door hit you on the way out. And he's back. You get to sing Judas again at the live shows. It's fun. I get it. Absolutely. I understand. But it's just, there is literally nothing to gain from what Chris Jericho has done since he's come back. It hasn't been bad. It's been nothing.
I've been entertained, but then I immediately forget it happens after he's gone.
It has been a absolute nothing burger of everything, because everything that he's doing, I've seen him do better years ago. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because I think Chris Jericho is still, I mean, I will always give this man credit for his longevity in the game. It is so difficult to stay relevant in pro wrestling, and this man has managed to do that through multiple different iterations of himself with his character, whether it was his time in WCW, whether it was time when he came into WWF, whether it was when he was the Ayatollah of Rock-a-Rolla, whether he was having his list, whether he was the best in the world at what he does, whether it was whatever the fuck, you know, Painmaker, all this type of stuff, you know, a little bit of the bubbly. He always found a way to make people care about Chris Jericho and to have interesting and entertaining storylines. I mean, again, he was AEW's first world champion. But we're approaching fucking 7 years ago. And I just do not care anymore. Now, Ciampa and Jericho will put on a good match. I love Ciampa. I think he's great. And I think he's going to be able to do a really good job. And he's doing the best that he can. You know, I do like it. He's like, Tommaso Ciampa is better than Chris Jericho. And he just keeps saying it. And honestly, it's like one of those things like you keep saying something, maybe it becomes true. Because that's kind of where he's leaning towards a little bit. But I just cannot care about Chris Jericho and AEW unless he does something different. It's that simple. Like if Chris Jericho magically is able to reinvent himself once again and go out and proceed to put out a banger of a match and just completely flip everyone's perspective of what he is and reinvent himself like he has done, I will shut my mouth and I will be entertained by Chris Jericho. But at this point, like, it's not fresh, it's not new, it's not interesting. I don't care. And I would much rather see that TV time go to somebody who could use that TV time as opposed to Chris Jericho, who if he called it a career now, he would have one of the most prestigious and colorful careers in pro wrestling. Decorated as of them all. You could put his career against anybody's and you could be like, hey, look what this guy accomplished. He's one of the greats. There are other guys that could use that TV time right now. And frankly, it's not personal. I do not care.
All right. I think we've said all we can about Chris Jericho.
Yes.
All right. So we're moving on. What's next?
Darby Allin versus the Machine Brian Cage. David versus Goliath at its finest right here. Darby wants to go out and beat the fuck out of Brian Cage as the Don Callis family continues to try to fight their battles against guys that want to take him down. Darby, with his one spot that everyone's going to remember from this match, was when he got lawn fucking darted into the ring post, head flying into the ring post, and he bounces off it and goes spinning. And yeah, I mean, this is typical what you would expect from Darby too when he goes up against a massive guy. Very entertaining, very physical. It was honestly, it was just damn solid. I don't have too much to say just because it's what you would expect from Darby in this type of like big heel underdog babyface match.
Yeah, I was going to say, other than that spot that you talked about, it was pretty much Brian Cage versus Darby Allin like every time we've seen it.
Yes.
All right.
And they do, but the match itself is always good.
It is.
You know.
It is. It just wasn't anything. I didn't have, other than that spot you said, I didn't really have any other thoughts on the match.
Yes. Darby gets the win, and he will face Kevin Knight for the TNT title next week. Kyle Fletcher was backstage and did challenge Bandito for the International Championship at Redemption. So he's like, I want you. Kevin Knight is backstage, and he was asked about all that type of stuff, and eventually gets a conversation with Speedball Mike Bailey. He's like, I'm not starting trouble. Stop this facade. Stop putting up with the Don Callis family. Take Kenny Omega's advice and because me, the people, we all love you enough and we're ready for when you go back to who you are and we'll forgive you. And Kevin's like, I don't need that love. And Speedball's just like, we'll be here for you, man, basically. And then we go into the main event, the trios match between Mercedes Moné and Divine Dominion versus Will Nightingale, Maya World, and Hyan. Yeah. I will tell you right now, the pairing of Mercedes Moné and Divine Dominion, having that be kind of her muscle now, I think is honestly a pretty damn good fit. Hopefully it gives the ability for the Divine Dominion to kind of flesh out their characters and try to showcase what sets them apart, you know, and kind of outside of just being the tall, badass, you know, step on me queens, you know, that they present. And I loved especially just Mercedes constantly ducking Willow. I love that every chance that she tried, they started off with those two in the ring, and Mercedes wanted absolutely nothing to do with Willow. Maya World is, this girl's getting over. Like, she is especially getting over. Like, I think everything that she did in the Owen show, that like her story of her being this, she just kept coming. She just wouldn't stop in terms of just the run that she was going on, and people really took to it. And I think that you're going to see how she's going to like hopefully be able to keep growing out of this. But fans are into her, so I think that's a big thing to really take from this as well. I thought Mercedes really did a great job in this match too. The double suplex from Megan Bayne was damn good too in this one. But in her hometown of Boston, Mercedes Moné comes out with the victory and gets the win and hits the moneymaker, and Divine Dominion and Mercedes celebrate on top of the ramp. That's the end of Dynamite. Good way to close it out, I felt like. And I just think it is a good thing that really showcases that, like, hey, Mercedes and Willow is going to be really good. And that seems to be what we might be setting up, because it doesn't seem like, I think now that Willow's back, Tekla's world title reign could very much be in jeopardy now, because even though she took the loss in this one, Willow versus Mercedes at All In to me just seems like that's got to be what's coming up, I think. And it's got to be for the world title.
It's crazy that they would do that, because Tekla feels like the hottest act in AEW.
I agree, but
it just seems like, wrestling is necessarily merit-based, but I feel like she's earned her spot at All In. That's how I feel about Tekla. So
I absolutely understand that, yeah, because, I mean, she's been so fucking good as world champion, and it doesn't seem like it would be a situation where you would absolutely give that up. So, yeah, I mean, but either way, this was still a really strong way to close out the show. In terms of Collision, which was taped, we had...
I clipped all the matches at the bottom for you.
Yes, so in terms of those matches that were... that took place on Collision. Let me find them real quick. We had Don Callis family in action. Ring of Honor World Champion Athena was in action, the women's champion. Brawling Birds were in action. We had Jungle Jack Perry versus Nick Wayne. Bandito versus Adam Priest. Tommaso Ciampa versus Myron Reed. Will Ospreay versus Adam Brooks. Mercedes Moné was on mic. Kevin Knight defended the TNT Championship against AR Fox. And Hikaru Shida defended the TBS Championship against Queen Aminata.
It feels like we could have used the guns in action. Right?
We're going to just keep saying this, dude. We're just going to keep saying this over and over.
Just throw them in there. I'm just saying, you got the tag team division. You got Kofi and Christian in the division. Thank you for Kofi and Christian. I'm okay with them being champions. But I'm okay with them being champions. You got the dogs that you're kind of building as a tag team. And you got this, and it's just like, I was listening, this new reinvigorated push more tag teams comes from Cash. And he did an interview last month, and he's like, I want some team to come take our spot. He's like, we don't want to be the best forever. I want some team to come take our spot. And I truly think the Young Bucks feel the same way. They want a team to come take their spot. So everybody's not saying it's Young Bucks. It's always Young Bucks versus FTR. Young Bucks versus FTR. Young Bucks versus FTR. The only way we're going to get away from Young Bucks versus FTR is we start pushing other teams. Saying the FTR fan is saying this. So you do this, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 singles matches, a women's tag, and a trios match. And you saying you couldn't fit the guns in there in a couple minute squash just so they could see the wins going on their little record thing, and then you could actually put them in a spot that matters. The Guns is who I'm approaching on, because they're kind of the established tag team. But shit, I can go the Infantry. I can go many other teams, the Rascals, whoever you want to pick. You have a lot of tag teams that you could be getting dubs with to actually make the tag team division matter.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
I mean, that's pretty much it. And then for Dynamite next week in Nashville, leading into Redemption, the go-home show for Dynamite for Redemption. TNT Championship, Kevin Knight will be defending it against Darby Allin. And then we'll have a trios match between the Don Callis family, Hechicero, Brian Cage, and Mark Davis versus Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Jon Moxley.
Dude, that match. That match sounds like somebody was hallucinating.
A little bit.
Yeah, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Mox are tagging together. Because Mox is, and you can tell Hangman, Mox's great rival in AEW was Kenny Omega. And Kenny Omega and Mox, they had that match. The exploding match was their match. And then the Ospreay situation happened now. And it's like, and then they're like 3 guys from the Don Callis family. And it's like, oh yeah, it's Sarah. It seems the visa issues have cleared up because like everybody's back now. So that's pretty cool.
Seemingly.
Yeah. So it's seeming like all that's cleared up. So that's awesome.
For sure. In terms of redemption, did you want to touch about the show? I mean, we kind of already did in terms of
No, it's just like I said, it's just like if someone told me, like, you know what, I'm gonna save my $40. I kind of can see the writing on the wall of what All In's gonna be.
Sure.
And so you know what, money's tight. I'm gonna save my boat at $40 and just wait for it, All In. I don't have a good argument against it right now. I want to argue against it. I want to be like, AEW pay-per-views always deliver, which they do. But right now, on paper, this is so predictable that I'd have a hard time making a strong argument against skipping it.
Right.
So you got a week. Give us something. Give me a reason as an AEW fan that always orders the pay-per-views. I always get them. So that goes without saying. Give me a reason to tell my friend that's on the fence why he should watch it. And I don't want you to tell me. I don't want you to message at ATLE Pod and tell me. I want you to put a match, put something on the show where I say, this is why you should get the pay-per-view. Because right now, Kyle Fletcher and Bandito is my biggest selling point, and Tekla versus Willow. But it's just like, is that worth $50 for somebody without HBO Max versus $40 to somebody with HBO Max? So I'm just like, you have a week, you have a few days. Tony Khan get in the lab with the pen and the pad. Give us something good.
Give us something good. We need it. Now, in terms of some pay-per-view scheduling, let's touch on this, Floyd. You want to touch on it?
I originally had a rant because the WWE announced that they're going to be doing When Worlds Collide pay-per-view in Chicago at the United Center the same day as All Out. I had a rant. I was going to get really upset, and then I decided this: there is better things to do with my energy. This is WWE. This is TKO. This is what they do. And just like they did it, and what they need to do, they need to be embarrassed. So if you're on the fence or you know somebody on the fence on the show, I think as AEW fans should show up to put as many people in this crowd as possible, sell out, all out, and just collectively ignore the fact that When Worlds Collide exists. And this is not no tribalism shit. This is consumerism shit. I am a consumer. I had a show that night. Would I watch When Worlds Collide? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't really watch AAA, and I've actually been away from NXT for a while. So I don't even know if they could even put something on the card that I'm even remotely interested in. But I am making the choice to just basically ignore its existence because, simply put, I can't say I don't care and then do a 30-minute rant about it because that kind of goes in opposite against each other. Good on WWE. Glad people are getting paid. Glad they're getting work. But yeah, I won't be watching this show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you going all out? I didn't know.
Uh, we'll see. It's during football season. We will see if I'm able to make that happen.
Because it's later. Yeah.
Well, and we're also in an interesting spot because my sports director is about to have his first kid with his wife, and he's going to be gone for 6 weeks on maternity leave. So,
are you going to be the sports director?
Well, me and my coworker Cole will basically be running it as a 2-person team instead of a 3-person team during the busiest time of the year. So we're just gonna have to ride it out and do our thing. So it's gonna be tough to find time to take time off, and then it's on the 26th too. So if I'm checking real quick, actually, more than anything, it matters too in terms of who is gonna be playing at home for college football, basically, because that's going to be the biggest thing. If Michigan State, or Central Michigan are at home, that is going to be the thing that determines. So Central Michigan will not be there. Michigan will be home. Michigan State will be home. So yeah, we're absolutely not going to be able to do that. So
okay, that makes sense.
Would love to, but I can't. So unfortunately,
grown-up jobs.
Yeah.
Like, luckily for me, I can work from anywhere. So
yes. So.
If Now Arena had good internet, I could work during a pay-per-view, but they're, because I have T-Mobile, it does not work. I'm literally thinking about taking my wife's phone to Now Arena so I have internet while I'm there, because
fair enough.
My phone just doesn't work there, and it's hilarious. All right, yeah, but and that last part, yeah, we're not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, which shows ran long already. So,
well, either way, we are going to close it out on this episode of All Things Elite, guys. We really, really appreciate you guys supporting the show and checking us out. So, if you enjoy the show, share us around with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Rate, review, subscribe, whether you listen to us on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. We appreciate you, and be sure to turn automatic downloads on and follow us on Twitter. We are at ATElitePod. You can also follow at Social Suplex. They make this show possible, and check out all the other great shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter, link in the description of the show, and I will pass it off to my boy Floyd so he can take us home on this week's episode of All Things Elite.
Just a couple people's news. All In has moved over 30,000 tickets. We're hoping, it'd be cool if they can get back to that 50 mark. So if you know any people in the UK, tell them to pick up that ticket. It's on a bank holiday in August, so definitely go to the show. I'm looking forward to watching the show with my boy Simon like I did last year. Me, Simon, and JR are going to All In, so hopefully see all of you there. It's Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. If you've never been to the UK and you've been on the fence, take the trip. Do it this time. You won't regret it. Favorite All In poll was 2024. It was Swerve in the Danielson main event. That was 51% of the vote. It was 51% of the vote. It was everyone's favorite AEW All In. It didn't include the original All In. So shout out to them. Hangman and Mox from last year had 33%. And the original AEW All In, MJF and Adam Cole, 14.8%. 80,000 people in the arena. You know what? I talk about that one often. It was just like, I love the show. I genuinely had a good time. But yeah, the main event took me out of it, because like this year is the type of main event you want at AEW. It is two of the best wrestlers in the world. They're going to have an amazing match. Last year, Hangman and Mox, those matches felt distinctly AEW. The MJF Adam Cole match, and I have not watched it in a long time, so I may be misremembering, but it felt like a very WWE storytelling match. And on that biggest stage, your brand, that wasn't, to me, hindsight being 2020, the best match for establishing what the AEW brand was in front of its biggest audience. So I could see why people feel that way, but you know what? I've been at them all. I've enjoyed them all. I'll be at them until I can't. So, which one was your favorite, sir, of the AEW All-Ins? The 3 that we have, which one did you like the most?
Honestly, it might have to be Texas. Just because of like feel good moments, and it felt like we were really back to AEW being what we all loved it being. So
yeah,
probably have to go with that one. I think honestly,
I gotta go Texas too because I was in the first row. Completely selfish reason. Yeah, this was my first time being first row at a stadium show. So yeah, I have no complaints.
There you go.
But that was it. That's it for the show this week. Thank you all for listening. Take your summertime. I got a lot of friends on vacation right now. This is just a reminder for the working people that can take your vacation time. That is not a sign of weakness. You need to take a break. You need to go away. Forget that you work where you work. I don't care if you love your job. I don't care if your job is your life. Everyone needs a break. So make sure you are giving yourself a break, taking your time, allowing yourself to recharge, and not allowing yourself to feel guilty about it. Just what I'm basically saying, take care of yourself. We want you around as long as you possibly can. And with that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it's home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.